So without further ado, man, let's get into these topics.
Oh yeah, man, let's get it.
Starting with the Lions, they played this past Sunday afternoon after a bye week. Played the Minnesota Vikings at home. Took a very very tough loss, 27-24, to the Vikings, a division rival. And just looked flat the entire game, in my opinion. But I will take your thoughts first, obviously, give you a few of mine. We also had the trade deadline yesterday. We'll talk about all of the exciting developments that happened.
Oh, man. It's like watching grass grow.
Before we move on to some other topics, man, we got some interesting things to cover. Also in the NFL, a couple of NFL topics, and then we'll move on to some NBA and a little bit of college football, some of that good stuff. But first, the Lions, man, what say you? What did you see? How did it make you feel? Positives, negatives, if you got anything positive. What say the people's champ?
Let's see. The first positive I can come away with, no real key guys had any major injuries that were sustained.
Other than Christian Mahogany breaking his leg.
Yeah, but but outside of that.
But to your point, I think that the position group that has the most depth is probably offensive line. I mean, if we can afford to lose one position group player, not that you ever want to lose any frontline players, but if you can afford to lose one position group player, it's probably an offensive lineman if you had to pick. Not that you would want to, but go ahead, man.
But outside of that, this was probably as shocking and disappointing a loss that I've seen this team have in a while.
Yep. That's accurate.
It was just a lot of things that just had me scratching my head.
Yeah.
The main thing would probably be John Morton, bro.
Yeah.
They're not going to stop blitzing.
Yeah.
Where's Khalif Raymond? Like, can we get a quick read, just to get, Jared out of trouble? Because we all know Jared on the move ain't good.
Yeah.
That's just not where he excels.
Yep.
And if he doesn't have time, then, let's draw up something different. Let's use Montgomery and Jameer. Both are very capable catching the ball out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Let's switch it up. What is Brock Wright doing other than catching the ball?
Yeah.
You give it so that was confusing to me, because it was like, okay, they're committed. Brian Flores committed to the blitz today. Like that's happening. It's not stopping, and
that's his MO,
especially against us. And typically, Goff performs well against it.
Yep.
But this week it wasn't the case.
No.
And the fact that we just stayed so vanilla to counter it was disappointing.
Absolutely.
Really, the rest of it, outside of just they looked flat. They just looked flat. I think people, if you follow the team closely, you saw this week, what a player like a Kirby Joseph means to the team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
On the field, because he does kind of clean up a lot of the mistakes in the intermediate part of the field. And I would say the other disappointing thing, when you look at McCarthy's stat line for that game,
mm-hmm.
Nothing jumps out at you. As a matter of fact, it looks pretty subpar, mediocre at best, to quote Richard Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
But when they needed a throw, when they needed a third down, especially the throw to end it,
mm-hmm.
he was able to make it and able to do it comfortably.
Yep.
And that bothered me, because, again, I look at games now, from the perspective, this is my fan perspective, as the Lions being a contender for the Super Bowl. Like, forget playoffs.
Absolutely.
So looking at it through that lens, I had some glaring concerns because J.J. McCarthy's doing that to us.
Yep.
However many months removed from Jayden Daniels doing it to us in a home playoff game.
Yeah.
That's becoming a pattern that's uncomfortable if we're trying to win it all.
Well, and I'll let you finish cooking, but here's a stat for you. First drive, J.J. McCarthy's quarterback rating 134. The rest of the game 64. You know, and again, I'll let you finish making your points, but really, 3 of the scoring drives that Minnesota had, 36 yards, 26 yards, 35 yards. They had 3 short fields. So, you know, while I thought he was fine, I didn't really think he didn't play a special game.
No,
just gave him short fields.
Yeah, like the numbers.
Yeah, he had 42 yards. Yeah,
the numbers are mediocre at best. But what I'm saying is, when a play needed to be made,
sure.
he made them all.
He did. He did what he had to do. I'm not knocking him.
No. Yeah. And I'm really not trying to, necessarily, blow his head up more or less.
No doubt. But you're right, though. When they needed one, he got one.
It was just alarming to me that we couldn't dial anything up for another young quarterback.
Yeah.
Where typically the role should be reversed if we're talking the moment being too big.
Yeah.
Even, when we're talking just situational regular season game, 2-minute football.
Yeah.
That was disturbing to me because, again, I'm looking at it through a lens of we're trying to win the whole thing.
Right.
And, these games aren't getting any easier. It's getting colder.
Yeah, no doubt.
The stakes are getting higher. Now with this loss, there's a log jam in the division now in terms of separation with the Bears getting a big win. So, and then we'll talk later about how I don't feel we addressed anything in terms of how I feel we can improve and help the problems that I think that we're seeing with mobile quarterbacks and, defensively being able to make the defensive play when we have to have it, when the stakes are the highest. So, I mean, I could go on for days, but, my man, it's preheated and ready for you, man.
Well, yeah, you know what, all good stuff. I'm going to use a Rayism. And, Ray not here today, but he one of the executive producers of this show. But
shout out Ray.
Ray always says whenever there's a problem, it's everybody's problem. So, in terms of the blame pie, I think the smallest slice of blame pie goes to the defense. I thought the defense was fine. You're right. I thought that there was some plays to be made that we could have made. And the defense will probably tell you that. I'd like to have seen them make a play or here and there. But really, Minnesota had 164-yard drive. Everything else was a short field. And I'm going to give you the end at the beginning. To me, that was the rare special teams loss. I thought the special teams was horrible. Yeah. I think that despite everything else, if you take away the 36-yard field that they started on because of a long kick return and the block punt, and the block field goal, where they returned that to our 26, that gave them a 26-yard field. I think you take away those 2 plays and we still probably win the game. So I think that was a very rare special teams loss. You take out those 2, and remember that they called back a kickoff return for a touchdown because of a hold.
Yep.
So I thought that the special teams was poor. But I'm not going to cook on special teams. The special teams needs to get cleaned up or changes need to be made. That's all I got to say about special teams. Because I agree with you. I'm gonna start with the same point you started with. We got a John Morton problem. And shout out to my son Josh, because he pointed this out to me when we were on our way down to the game, because I went to the game. me and nephew.
Shout out, Josh.
I said we were talking about Issac TeSlaa targets. And my son said, let's count his snaps.
Right.
Forget his targets. Let's see how many snaps he gets.
Right.
Because I contend that he's not on the field. I don't think he's out there. And he was right. I counted 5 snaps for Issac TeSlaa.
I was going to say 2.
Meaningful snaps. And no targets at any time that was meaningful, because we basically left, before there was while it was no meaningful football left to be played when we left. 5. Now, we traded away Tim Patrick because we were told that TeSlaa was receiver number 3. Well, Khalif Raymond is getting all of the 11 personnel snaps along with J-Mo and Amon-Ra. So let's talk about athletic profile, right? So there's some universal truths, right? When you're talking about sports.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk universal truths. Basketball is a tall man's game. Football is a big man's game, right? Now, they got Amon-Ra St. Brown listed at 6 feet, 200 pounds. If Amon-Ra is 6 feet, I'm Spider-Man. He's not 6 feet. They got Khalif Raymond listed at 5'8", 180. And I got a picture of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Khalif Raymond standing next to each other. And one ain't 4 inches taller than the other. And I'll just say that, right? Let's just leave it there. And then they got J-Mo listed at 6'1", 185 or 180, and he ain't 180 pounds. So now we have 3 smallish receivers on the field, right? So we talking athletic profile. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown has more targets than all of the rest of the wide receivers combined. He's got 79, so he's on pace, and we're not halfway through the season. We've played 8, we got 9 to go. So that means he's on pace to be targeted 180 times, about 160 times, 160 plus times.
Okay.
Now, I think he's got 59 catches without looking. So that means he's on pace for 130-ish catches. And we're talking about a guy who's not that big. So, number one, I'm going to contend that he's being overused.
They really list him at 6 foot?
Yeah, they list him at 6 foot.
That's
yeah,
wild.
Insane. But we overusing him. And he's not a big guy. If Amon-Ra St. Brown gets hurt, cancel the rest of the season.
Currently this year, he has 74 targets, 59 receptions.
Yeah, 74. Okay. So 74. So he on pace to be targeted about 160 times because we got 9 more games.
Right.
So, in my opinion, he's being overused. Issac TeSlaa is 6'4", 215. So again, he changes the athletic profile of the wide receivers. He's actually a big-bodied wide receiver. But let me skip past that. So we're not getting enough production out of the wide receivers. He's being targeted. Amon-Ra's being targeted way too much. He's getting way too much production for the wide, and he's a real number one. And of course, we want him to get a lot of production, but we don't want him to be overused. We want to use the rest of the wide receiving core and get the rest out of those weapons because that takes the pressure off of him.
Yeah,
that's number one. Number two, Brian Flores likes to blitz and play zone behind the blitz. We know that. John Morton had 2 weeks to prepare, and I know that, and I'm not a NFL coach. I'm just a fan, like the rest of us. If I know that Brian Flores likes to blitz and play zone behind the blitz, where's the slot motion? Slot motion will tell you this is a principle, a universal principle of football. If the defender follows the slot motion, man, it's man coverage. If he doesn't, it's zone. We didn't do that. What we did was line Jahmyr Gibbs out wide and Goff would motion him in. He did that from early in the game, and it didn't work because Minnesota would just stay still and change assignments. And if Gibbs stayed in, they would just green dog him. And what green dog means is if the running back stays in, then the guy who's assigned to the running back will blitz. If he goes out, then he'll go out with him. We didn't throw one swing pass to Jahmyr Gibbs. We tried to set up a couple of screens that were unsuccessful. Had you run slot motion or you started slot motion, and once you saw that they were blitzing and playing zone behind the blitz, you would have been able to figure out that, oh, okay, they playing zone behind the blitz. And every playbook should have zone beaters and man beaters. Now let's talk about the successful drive. Because we started out with a 6-play, 74-yard drive. Let me tell you how that drive went. Stop me if you understand what I'm saying. 11-yard pass to Sam Laporta. 15-yard pass to Sam Laporta. 6-yard run to Jahmyr Gibbs. Incomplete pass, 40-yard pass to
Sam
Laporta. That's not even creative. Even the successful drive wasn't highly creative. You went to Sam Laporta. The 3 completed passes on the drive were to Sam Laporta.
Which should be a dead giveaway.
And so what did they do for the rest of the game? Well, they took away Sam Laporta.
Yep.
Duh. That was easy. So again, even when stuff is clicking, it was pretty simple to figure out what you were trying to do. There, again, we pointed that out early. There's not enough motion. You're not showing enough different looks to the defense. In the Tampa Bay game, Jahmyr Gibbs had a long run. It was out of shotgun. It was like an inside zone run. It was just a double team by Tate Ratledge and Penei Sewell on the defensive tackle.
What was that, the 76-yard?
Yeah, that was a 76-yard run. I don't think we might have run out of shotgun 3 or 4 times. We didn't even, I don't know, and I don't know if we ever ran the inside zone. Like one of the times we ran out of shotgun was the toss play that Montgomery fumbled on. So again, yes, we have a John Morton problem. We're not getting enough production out of the wide receivers. And I still haven't seen John Morton adjust when things are not working out.
Yep.
We pointed out, we gave Dan Campbell his flowers. 19 straight wins when leading at the half, 26 straight wins when leading going into the fourth quarter. But we got to be able to get some wins when we trailing too.
Yep.
We got to be able to adjust. That's the flip side of the coin. The flip side of the coin is being able to adjust when other teams have us down at the half and down going into the fourth quarter. We got to see what they doing, figure it out, and adjust. We never adjusted. We didn't adjust. We saw very little boot action. There are ways to move the pocket. We didn't see any moving of the pocket. Straight dropbacks, leaving Goff as a sitting duck. Same way we did in the Green Bay game. Now, this is the first game that we have lost to a team that, in my opinion, is not a good team. Losing to Green Bay and Kansas City is whatever. To me, those are good teams. Those are teams that are be in championship contention. Losing to a Minnesota team after having an extra week to prepare is alarming because when I'm looking at the offensive game plan, I'm trying to figure out what John Morton was trying to figure out when he was coming up with this game plan in an extra week to prepare. Yeah,
that's a game. If we have Ben Johnson, we win that game.
Ben easily. Johnson owned Brian Flores.
Like easily. We win that game easily.
Brian Flores blitzes and plays zone behind the blitz. He puts in a bunch of zone beaters, and we go to work.
Goff's numbers, those games are stupid.
He cooks.
Stupid.
He owned Brian Flores. Owned him. He owned him. And I don't understand how you had an extra week to prepare and you put together that game plan. Now, again, the special teams wasn't good enough. There was some meat on the bone for the defense. But the biggest piece of the blame pie, it goes to the offense. Offense got to be better than that.
I agree.
I mean, again, I think it was a special teams loss overall. It's the very rare special teams loss. Take out those couple of bad special teams plays, we probably still win. But the John Morton, today, I don't feel comfortable with John Morton putting together a game plan for a playoff game as a Lions fan. I just got to be real. And I brought up this stat before, and then we can transition to what took place yesterday during the trade deadline. No coach quarterback combination has won their first Super Bowl outside of their first 5 years together. No coach quarterback combination in NFL history. None. This is year 5 for Goff and Dan Campbell. Now, somebody came on, I put that on the social site. Somebody came and said, that's a Debbie Downer stat. Shout out to my man, L. Boog. I said, on the podcast, Lance is the people's champ, not me. I ain't the people's champ. I'm here for sobering information. I'm here to sober up the fan base. Go ahead, nephew.
Real quick before we move on, we halfway through the season. I know how the franchise looks at that point. It's totally different. Do you foresee that they're gonna have to make a change and pull the play calling duties from John Morton?
I mean, listen, let me say that, I just lambasted John Morton. I don't know that we are there yet, but I think that a serious conversation needs to be had at this point between Dan Campbell and John Morton.
Dan's done it before.
Yes, he has. Because I think that it's critical at this point. It's critical at this point because these championship windows don't stay open forever. The general managers in this town act like you got forever to get it done. The future is now. I hate to sound cliche, but the future is right now in professional sports. Jared Goff is 30. That's dog years in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, a pocket passer can last a little longer than, somebody that's dependent on their athleticism. So Goff is not dependent on his legs and, running RPOs and read options and all of that. So Goff may last until his late 30s, like Stafford, who's playing MVP level football at 37. But
man, is he?
Yeah, he's playing great. But time is of the essence, though. Like I said, Amon-Ra, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a number 1 receiver. I'm his biggest defender. He's not the biggest guy.
No.
All of this work over the middle and all of these contested catches and all of this rough housing that he goes through.
Well, speaking of Stafford, we ran the bigger receiver into the ground.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he just got tired of getting beat up.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Megatron prematurely hung it up because of the same point that you're making.
Yeah, I mean, just overworking one guy. Yeah, like we got to spread the ball around to the other receivers. Khalif Raymond got 13 targets all year in 8 games.
He should have ate Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the receiver. You have to get more production out of the receiving core. You do. And Issac TeSlaa got to get on the field. That should be bullet point number 1 when Dan Campbell does talk to John Morton. Like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, our 3rd round draft pick has to see the field.
Yeah, he got to get on the field.
Like, what are we doing?
I don't know if that's you or the receiving coach. All of the offensive coaches got to get in the room. Dan Campbell got to get up front. Everybody got to be quiet. Right. And Dan Campbell got to say, look, this is the bullet. Here go the bullet points. Bullet point number 1, TeSlaa got to be on the field and he's got to be targeted. There's got to be packages for him.
Yeah, man, offense, it did not look fluid, man.
No, and really it didn't against Tampa.
That's real.
That was a defensive win.
That's real.
It really didn't look good against Tampa either. It hasn't looked good a few times this year, really.
Maybe probably the best was the Cincinnati game, probably.
Yeah, Cincinnati, it looked fine, but Cincinnati's defense.
But it's Cincinnati. That's what I'm saying.
It's a stimulus package for defenses.
It's stat night against Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's a stimulus package for quarterbacks.
Yep.
It's just that's like Dallas's defense. Go ahead, nephew.
I was gonna say Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Chicago, yeah, it looked good against Chicago, and also it didn't look bad against Cleveland either.
Yeah.
Because Cleveland
was
still the number one
fair.
overall defense. So listen, that's why I said I'm not sure that we need to snatch the play calling duties from him, unceremoniously, but a conversation needs to be had.
Yeah, because that loss was concerning.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the trade deadline.
Oh, this will be brief.
You're not excited about signing guys off the practice squad?
I mean,
I'm not excited about our fifth rounder starting to practice. So the Lions did a fat lot of nothing yesterday by 4:00, while other teams commenced to make themselves better. And I don't like to make cross sports comparisons, but I will in this particular case.
Mm-hmm.
The Tigers were one run away from the American League Championship Series. The Mariners were one run away from the World Series, and the Blue Jays were one run away from a championship. You walking on the razor's edge every single trade deadline, and these GMs still acting like one player can't make a difference. Scott Harris left us with Colt Keith as our designated hitter, batting .077. And we were 3 runs away from a World Series, presumably. I understand it's not a straight line, but that's how close everything is. That's how close we were. And we still acting like everything is cool. No big deal. Yep. Come these trade deadlines, well, they come and go. You don't want to give up too much. You got to think about the future is now. In professional sports, the future is now. I heard somebody, they talking about, Brad Holmes ain't Howie Roseman, and you don't want him to be.
Right. Like what type of bar is that?
Right. Exactly.
The hell do you mean?
Right. Like Howie Roseman has put together 2 Super Bowl teams, buddy, and another team that's been to a Super Bowl. We haven't been yet. Yeah. I want him to be. I want him to be Howie Roseman.
Like, oh my Lord, man.
Howie Roseman been making moves since the beginning of the year. They signed a pass rusher. That pass rusher retired. They went and got another one. They lost a corner, traded for one. They fill in every hole.
They just keep the cupboard full.
They'll worry about the offseason when the offseason gets here. Yep. They want another Super Bowl. And I'm not telling you they're going to win one. But the future is now.
But here's the thing. They acting like it.
Yeah. The future is now.
That's my whole thing with the line. Act like it. Act like we're in the hunt for it.
Act like this is year 5 for Goff and Dan Campbell.
Because I get it. I get how the impulse could be there to say, hey, remember the times where you were shit. I get it, but we're not. We can't follow up a season where we go 15-2 and blow a home playoff game to a rookie quarterback with a sputtering backpedaling into the playoffs and another disappointing first round playoff exit.
We were 15-2 last year. That and $1 will buy you a cup of coffee, baby. The future is now.
Right.
In the NFL, in professional sports, what you did last year, unless you hoisted a banner, that's about unless you hoisted a trophy, not a banner, a trophy, unless you raised a trophy, that's the only thing that gives you any cover for the following season.
Yep.
The only team that got cover from last year in the NFL is the Philadelphia Eagles. Yep. You think the Kansas City Chiefs fan base is not panicking after Sunday's loss, where Patrick Mahomes had the lowest completion percentage of his career? No, they like, hey, what's going on? What is happening? And that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes got 3 Super Bowl MVPs, and they still want to know what's popping.
They need to be worried that Denver's in first place and they ain't played a whole 4-quarter game yet.
Yeah. They the best fourth quarter team in football. They like, hey, what's going on?
Like if they actually show up at kickoff, they might be a real problem.
Listen, I'm telling you that in professional sports, you don't get any quarter for what you did last year or the year before that, or we was in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago. All of that don't mean nothing.
I asked the 49ers how that's been working out for them since 1995.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. It's about what's going on right now. Is you either a championship team or you not?
Yep.
And so we'll see how it works out. You know, everybody like, look, let Brad cook. And I'm like, listen, man, until he cooks me a Super Bowl parade feast, we questioning everything.
Yeah.
And I love Brad Holmes. I'm not against him, but we have to stay vigilant and skeptical until it results in a championship. And that's with everybody. That's Trajan Langdon. That's Steve Eiserman. That's Scott Harris. That's everybody.
Yep.
Until you're cooking up championship feasts, we question everything.
I think Stevie I might have a little heat on his seat, but they're off to the best start they had in over a decade.
They actually playing pretty well.
Yeah. So we may have to revisit that question that I asked a few weeks ago at the end of the season if things don't go the way that we hoped in terms of it might add and have to add Brad to that equation of who will share the blame of coming up short.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
But hopefully we won't have to do that.
Yeah, let's hope. Man, there's so much to get to, man. So much happened. Lions got the Commanders coming up.
Yeah.
Nasty Jayden Daniels injury. I want to ask you, man.
That was ugly.
In the game, late like that, in a blowout. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you feel like, you know, because I guess the coach is kind of beating himself up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like they should have waved the white flag on that one and had him on the sideline? Or are you kind of with the, you know, the whole idea that we need to regain some continuity?
I'm trying to remember. How much time was left, you said again?
That it was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but I mean, how much?
You know what? I would have to look. I think it was, you know, it was midway through the fourth quarter at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that when it happens, I think people's perspective always changes.
I concur.
When it actually happens. Because, I mean, with football, any given snap could be a player's last snap.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, football is rough.
So to, you know, try to, you know, like, you know, to try to revisit or, you know, Monday morning quarterback, should he have played or should he not? You know, it's the kind of the nature of the game, man.
I concur.
And you play to the clock hits 000.
That's what I say.
That you don't get to that level doing it any less. So,
then my next question is it time to be concerned about Jayden Daniels' durability?
Yes,
I agree.
Because that was the question going into the draft with Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, his size.
Yeah, I mean,
he's slight. The durability question. Can he take the punishment?
He was nicked up at LSU.
Correct. And he's a running quarterback.
Yeah.
So he's not going to stand in the pocket. Even though I contend that he might throw the best deep ball.
Oh, the kid's dope. Like, let's not get it twisted. Yeah. I want to see him on the field. Right. Like, you know, do whatever, you know, that's medically possible, you know, that can get him on the field and keep him on the field.
Go ahead, Neff.
Just real quick, it was 7:38 left in the game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But the bigger point was they were down 31 points.
I get it, but it's like, when do you start like benching your starters in the middle of games? Like, that's not a trend that happens regularly in the NFL of a regular season game.
I'm with you. I agree. I'm like, listen, I'm of the opinion that coaches waved the white flag too early.
Yeah, I mean, with what Denver just did a couple of weeks ago against the Giants, you can't,
particularly in the NBA, and we're gonna get to that because I got the in-season tournament first night on here, man.
Good Lord.
And I think I'm a people's champ convert, man. I'm really on your page.
Welcome, brother.
But we're gonna get around to that. I wanted to touch on the Jayden Daniels thing because we got the Commanders coming up.
Yes.
And again, him going down was a gift and a curse for the Lions. Just doing a mini preview of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want them to go in there taking anything lightly. Now, I know that they should be fired up, pissed off after that loss that they took at home. Yeah. I expect them to come out and play with their hair on fire. And also the revenge factor for the Commanders. They 100%. Should see those uniforms and want to rip their heads off because of what happened in the playoffs. But
again, our division's a dog fight now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yep. And it's up for grabs, and I think that we could and should still get it.
Oh yeah.
But we got to come out and play a complete game.
Yes.
All 4 quarters, all 3 phases.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to this in season.
And get well soon to Jayden Daniels. Good thing he didn't have any structural damage to that ugly injury.
I was glad to see that there was no broken bones.
Yeah, because that was ugly, man.
It was very nasty.
Yeah, that's good to hear. But start all that next week.
Yeah, most definitely.